evening and welcome to the rare Monday, November 17th school board meeting. Call the meeting to order. And we'll start with the pledge. Okay.
Who would like to lead our pledge? Want to do it together?
Oh, sure.
Excellent.
It's there.
Just kind of start us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So you'll hear from both Fiona and Jolynn in a few minutes. So they are from CBNA, so thank you, welcome.
So we're going to amend the agenda to include Jolynn, Roger. Any other amendments?
Nope. I make a motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, approval of the minutes from November 4th. Wow, it feels so long ago.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we're up to public comment. Anyone in person want to speak? No? Okay. Anybody online? Going once, going twice. All right, there is another opportunity later in the meeting. So look how quickly we got to you.
You do not need to stand. Sit right where you are.
Okay, I'm Jolynn Roger. I'm representing Co-Brown, and I'm a junior. I did 5th to 8th grade at Barrington Middle School, and then I went to Portsmouth Christian Academy for my freshman year, and then I went to Co-Brown. The transition, I was so welcomed, and Co-Brown was just an amazing school, and all of the people were so welcoming, and it was just awesome. I loved it. The fall sports are starting up soon, and tryouts are coming up in the next week or two. And for National Honor Society and Student Athlete Leadership Team have been teaming up to hold a food drive for non-perishable foods, and National Honor Society has been selling calendars with raffles for $10.
My name is Fiona O'Connor. I'm a sophomore and I'm also representing Co-Brown. I've lived my entire life in Barrington and I went through the entire Barrington School District. Personally, for me, my transition from middle school to high school is a little bit harder, as I was very close with many of my teachers and my friends. So that transition was a bit harder, but with Co-Brown's welcoming group of teachers and other students around me, I've very much enjoyed my time at Co-Brown now, and I've made many new friends, and all the teachers are super supportive. Wednesday night, I'm going to be inducted into the Spanish Honor Society, which I'm very excited for. December 3rd is our Winter Arts Festival, where we will have artwork from students being on display. We're going to have the chorus perform and the band perform. December 14th is a movie night fundraiser for the class of 2028 at 6 p.m. And the Forensics Club will later be selling ornaments on campus for our fundraiser as well.
Oh, cool. Great. Well, and congratulations on your induction.
Yeah.
Is there any questions for either representative?
I mean, what would you say was the best part about being able to make, like, it's such a unique opportunity where you get to choose the schools that you go to. So what was the thing that, like, really helped you make that decision? What made Co-Brown really stand out to both of you?
Well, Co-Brown, I liked the campus and getting a lot of fresh air. That was really nice. And the open campus, really, I love it. I'm not gonna lie, their cafeteria is pretty amazing too. But just a lot of my friends from Barrington had gone there, and I had heard a lot of amazing things about Co-Brown, and I knew people there, and I've heard nothing but good things, so.
For me, it was also the open campus a little bit, but I'm also very focused on going to college, like, prior to, or after I leave Co-Brown, and Co-Brown is very academically driven, And personally, for me, I'm not an athlete, so Dover and Oyster River, they're also very athlete-driven, and Co-Brown just kind of seemed more focused on my college career in my future. And it's also a smaller school, so we're able to get more help with teachers and more hands-on experience with everything we do.
Well, that's so great. I'm glad that it's really become everything that you guys wanted it to be. That's what we want to hear for sure. Yeah.
Anything else?
How do you feel? Did you feel like a fish out of water when you got there? Like, I don't know anyone. Did you feel like welcome right away? Like, how did that go for the two of you?
For me, it was kind of a mix because when I first started, I was a sophomore transfer, so that's like a whole new world, and it was new, and I didn't know anybody going into it on like the freshman orientation day, but all of their ambassadors that were seniors at the time really helped me, and they were really nice, and I made friends on my first day. So.
For me, I was also going with a group of Barrington students, so with that transition, it was a bit easier with knowing some of the people around me. Along with the teacher support, since they're very used to having different kids from different schools, that was helpful. We had multiple chances to meet other students. We had a lock-in night where we got to just go around the school doing different activities with groups of kids. We had freshman orientation, which was just freshmen for the first day, and we got to meet all the freshmen in our classes, get to know around the school. That was very helpful. So while I did feel a fish out of water because it was a bigger school and it was a lot of people I didn't know, I also felt very tight with my group that I had.
Anything else? All right, well, thank you both for coming. You are, of course, welcome to stay for the meeting, but you're welcome to leave as well.
Heard if you didn't.
Yeah. Run while you have the chance.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, so we've talked a little bit in the past about when it's allowable to have a non-meeting, and also having some descriptions I think would be helpful for public comment. And yes, it's available, online, but to have those as part of our regular agenda, I thought we allow a little more structure and transparency. And also, we most often have items for a board vote. So on the proposed, I just basically took the exact same agenda for tonight and then showed you what it would look like if we added a couple of structural pieces. So the highlighted areas on the proposed are what I would suggest we use as standing items moving forward. So we always have an item for areas for board vote. If there aren't any, great, there aren't any, but just that would be a standing item that we would keep an eye on. And then at the end, to consistently message a non-public and a non-meeting. You can only have a non-meeting for negotiations purposes, but to have those there as if needed, and if we need them, we can adjust the agenda at the start of the meeting to do those, or in advance if we know. And then the last page would show that standing page that we would have going forward. So there would always be the information there around describing the rules around public comment, as well as the allowable messaging on the RSA for non-public session. So nothing major, but just helps, I think, with organization of potential agenda items.
I'm okay with it.
I don't like it. I mean, I don't mind the non-public. I mean, I think it's odd to list non-public for every meeting if we don't think we're going to have a non-public.
Okay.
I think that would be, people who just look at the agenda are going to think we're meeting in non-public all the time, and we don't. And so I would only like it listed if we're going to meet
Okay.
non-public. I mean, having the additional information while we're killing more trees, so I'm a little leery of that. But I do, I think it's helpful for people to understand how they can participate in public comment and what non-public means. But, so I'm I'm just one board member, but I'm opposed to having non-public listed every time and then amending the agenda. And I'm not sure I understand the reasoning for listing things for board vote instead of just listing each thing. Because we're still typing each thing, so I don't know if there's more reasoning for that.
Just so that they're not scattered throughout the agenda. Sometimes items that need board vote are, maybe not in order. And so just to keep us focused on what requires a vote and what is just discussion and doesn't require, isn't an actionable item.
So then would we only discuss things that require a vote in subsequential order? And then not have things be scattered according to the agenda flow? Like, would that be just restrictive? Sometimes we're pretty strategic about how we discuss things,
Yep.
right? So I don't know,
Yep, we can really just add the last page if people are good with having that information.
I really like the last
attached to the
page,
agendas.
yeah. But that's just I don't want to speak for, sorry.
But you're right, though, like, items really are, to help with flow of discussion, are, dispersed throughout the agenda at times.
Yeah, sometimes we've used that to our, advantage to help that understanding for those in public and things like that. And I would hate to not be able to do that, especially where oftentimes, depending on the time of year, almost everything we discuss requires a vote. So,
That's true.
I don't really have, I'll go with anything, so I mean, I prefer to you guys if it's easier for you too. I do like the info at the end, highlights what a public comment is and the reasons for non-public. I definitely, that should be there, but I really don't mind if you two want to keep it. It's easier and you've been here longer and you know how we work and how it works, then I can be supportive of that. Sorry, I didn't break a tie or anything.
Well, and really not anything that
just an
needs a vote.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
conversational. I just wanted to make sure I
Yeah.
was presenting agendas in
Jason.
an order that made sense.
Wasn't under the items for vote, so.
yeah, it wasn't under the items for
That's
vote, so
right.
it's not,
No.
we didn't need a vote.
So it sounds like the addition of that final page would be helpful, and then we'll just continue to create the agenda as we have in the past.
Yeah, I think that's,
Great. All right.
it's been working for like the 16 years I've been on the board, so.
It has been.
And I think it's easier for people to look and say, like, this is, like, I guess if you really want to, not that we have a huge presence, but like people who want to see what we're voting on, like, if they happen to turn in just a few minutes late, they were like, I missed all of it at once.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Or, they could just,
I found as I was typing like certain agenda items, it was like putting the actual word vote, and it just felt a little awkward to keep saying it, but
Well, and I don't think you have to denote that we're going to vote on that this is the topic, because, I mean, it could be that what we get to is, our vote is to table it, right? So,
Sure.
I think,
or just have discussion. Yep. All right.
so.
Sounds good.
All right, but now we get to
Having said all
8, that it says items to
now-
vote, even on the real agenda.
Well, because it made sense to group them, because it was just a variety of things that we needed to do.
But it was just interesting, like, what is proposed and what is the actual, and they are identical.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, sometimes it does lend itself to a grouping of things that we need to quickly vote on. So the first thing is our suicide prevention and response plan that we have to adopt and revisit. So that is up for your review and vote.
And I'll be honest, I look through it and everything. The one question I have is, I didn't see rapid response listed as a resource, and I just thought that would probably be appropriate there.
Definitely. A good one.
In the definitions?
Well, in the back, there are
One of the
resources.
resources.
That's someone you can
page
call
20.
that,
Oh, yeah. No, that's a great catch.
I personally, speaking from experience, we can all call 988 at any time. You get the national line when you do that, as opposed to New Hampshire 988, which is actually a 1-800 number, which makes it more confusing, but is more direct. So that's what Moira is talking about. So
Perfect.
I think that's a better resource for our folks than the national number. That's a great one, but local's better.
So can I have a motion to approve as slightly amended?
Absolutely.
I'll make a
make
motion.
Add that.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
we're getting down to the point where we have to make a decision about the remaining balance on the school care claims assessment for this past year. Just to remind folks who might be listening, we did pull back our DOE 25 and used the money from the remaining fund balance out of the 24-25 year to pay for the lion's share of that $421, yeah, over $400,000 bill. The remaining balance is what's listed on the agenda there, the $61,261.44. We do feel, even though it's only November, we do feel pretty good about our current fund balance, and would suggest at this point that we just pay that out of this money. We know that we have reserve accounts available to us in certain categories. If we do get to April, May, June, and we have a concern, we can certainly pull money out of appropriate accounts for that. But we feel as though in order to not pay the 0.5% penalty starting in January, then it makes sense to pay that balance at this time. So
Any questions or discussion? Is there a motion to pay that out of current budget?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then we have a couple of new stipend proposals to bring forward to you that have gone to the stipend committee. There are a few other clubs, after-school opportunities that are on the books that were previously approved that aren't happening right now, so we do have the funds within there, but given that they're new, part of the CBA indicates that it comes to the board, so here we are. The committee has really been good about looking at the time expectations, the number of days a week, how many students they serve, how many hours in comparison with other clubs and committees that are happening, and made the recommendation that each of those new clubs, so the first Lego League Robotics, which the materials and everything were actually purchased and funded by a grant, but the person doesn't get a stipend for staying after school and running that group. And then Riley Bolduc has been doing an American Sign Language club after school at BMS.
Do we, not that I'm against the first Lego League Robotics, it's just there's paperwork for the American Sign Language. Is there just, am I missing it for the Lego League Robotics?
It should have been included in there.
That was in
This one?
Oh, yeah, I don't have that in my
I
printout.
thought I saw it in
Oh, okay, I just don't have it in my.
Well, here, if
my
you wanna
copy.
take a look at
Thank
that.
you. I think that's great that they're offering both of those programs. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, we're slowly reviving, after school
Yeah.
groups and activities, and really trying to encourage some for younger kids as well, because it's predominantly been at BMS because we have the late bus, so it works out really
Yeah.
well to be able
Yeah.
to do that for families. And we do have hopefully another one coming our way for 3rd and 4th grade that I'm hearing about in the wings, so.
Would anyone like to make a motion to? So moved. Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay.
Did that fast.
Any further discussion?
No, thank you to the staff that are
Yeah,
volunteering their
that's
time.
awesome.
I think it's great opportunities for our kids, so, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're up to budget.
So Vicki redid default and proposed for you based on the now known school care numbers. So I think the important thing to remind people, and also we have Dover's current rates, which then helps us project for next year, because we don't get those for the current year until into the fall, because they're a city system, and that's done differently than we do our budgeting and our process there. And then also in the meantime, we have received Co-Brown's rates. So the high school rates have been adjusted. We did increase the Dover rate a little bit based on where we had it, because they came in higher this current year than we anticipated. So we did have to go up there. a bit, but we were able to come down with what we had put in for Co-Brown. So historically, we get Oyster River's number first. Co-Brown's is usually pretty spot on to Oyster River's, so that first round of budgeting, we put those numbers in identical until we get the actual number from the Board of Trustees. They came in a little bit lower than we anticipated, so there's a bit of an offset there between the increase in Dover and the decrease in Co-Brown. So those adjustments have been made. What we did with health insurance, because we have to go with what we know right now. As most people know, both of our major staff agreements are under conversations, negotiations in that area, so we don't know where that's going to land at this point. So we go with what we do know, which is our 34.8% increase. We just set up a meeting, Vicki and I, with the representative from School Care. They just sent us today, here's a breakdown of your claims and the background as to why our percentage is where it is. So we got that late in the day, haven't had a chance to digest it yet, but we do have that meeting set up. We've also asked Health Trust for numbers. It usually takes a couple weeks because they have to request information from us and review claims from School Care themselves, so it's going to be tight in getting the information that we need. So the default numbers in comparison to what we gave you at the last meeting to today, and remember, this is with the possibility of going forward with a preschool and a fourth grade reduction, so those two positions are not in there. The default was at a 3.24% increase. It's now at 4.63. What was that?
4.82.
Oh, 8.2. I'm looking at my old numbers when we talked earlier, and you made more adjustments. Sorry. There we are. 4.82. I had forgotten you had made those other shifts after I wrote my sticky note. So just to remind everybody, that is with the Educator Association on the current plan of yellow with the choice fund. All others have been put to the yellow 2.0 because they don't have the ability to stay on the yellow with choice fund because they're not currently under agreement with that. And then we've kept the current contract language, so the percentage that the district is paying versus the staff members for now, because we have to go with what we know.
Why is there a $20,000 difference between the default on insurance and?
And the proposed?
Yeah.
Because we added the OT position, so we have to presume that that person is going to take insurance. That's probably the major reason. Oh, and then we also put in, because we're taking steps toward the research and the possible implementation of an early retirement plan, we put in as presuming that one person might take the cash buyout and one person might take insurance. So that's already in there as well. So that contributes to the other adjustments. So one cash buyout is in there and one insurance option is in there. So that is your difference between the two.
With a $1.8 million increase, what's the tax impact on that?
Don't have the tax impact yet.
Rough idea?
So you figure on let's just, for easy math's sake, on a $32 million budget, every $320,000 is 1%, right? So you're looking at over 3% of an increase is insurance related specifically. So now we have to wait to see what the per thousand tax impact is going to be. And Vicki and Connor always, as it gets a little bit closer, are able to determine that number.
Vicki, do you think you could have it for us for the next school board meeting?
Absolutely.
The first one in December?
Yep.
Perfect.
I mean, we were pretty close to $1.50 this year, right, was ours?
Yeah, this is gonna hurt. So Garth's not here to talk to me about budget drivers, but that is the conversation this year, really, is the insurance impact. So, I don't
Yeah, I know they gave us that range up to 38%, but I did not think it would be in the 30s
Yeah.
like that.
I
Can
thought
you
that they were
also reach out to other districts and see where school care came back with them? Because
Yep.
I've heard rumors of other districts being a lot lower.
We've
So-
heard one that is at 35, and then the few people that I have talked to, because most people got them last week, some are at 8% and some are at 10. That seems to be between 8 and 12 is what I'm hearing from the people I've spoken with so far. Because when I've said, hey, what has your, and I tell them my number, they're like, what?
But that's based on claims, right? So, I mean, if you have a district that hasn't had many claims, they're gonna have a smaller percentage, but when you're basically self-funding insurance and you have a high liability, claim liability, you're gonna have higher numbers.
Yeah, and I guess the concern that Vicki and I discussed with that was, there's going to be times, right, when you have high claims. The part that I want to talk through with the school care representatives is, okay, well, how quickly are you going to then revisit and adjust? Because now we're going to be at this astronomical rate. I've never seen them turn around and reduce it based on claims in the future. So are we going to now be stuck at this rate moving forward, only to watch it to continue to increase? Or is there going to be an adjustment back to the bigger picture of the risk pool to say, okay, you had an unfortunate year where there was a lot of usage. Now
That's not a norm.
That's not typical for us at all. And will there be an opportunity for a readjustment? I get it. There was usage. Like, nobody wants to have to use their health insurance to that degree. Great that they had it, but that's a tough one to think that we're going to now move forward at that.
To me, that's a
same rate.
more important question to ask, is there opportunity for that to be reduced as opposed to what other districts are? Because you're really comparing an apple to an orange rather than an orange to an orange. And, but being able to, kind of hold their feet to the fire and say, look, if, you're raising our rates because we had a lot of claims. If we don't have a lot of claims next year, can we expect that our rate's gonna go down?
Right.
And that's a reasonable request.
Especially on the
And
heels.
will Health Trust take that into account when they're doing their calculations as well?
See,
That
that's
an
the tough
average,
part.
right? It can't just be that snapshot of that one high yield year. It really needs to be an average of at least, 5 years, maybe 7, just to get to a median, but.
I mean, truthfully, the bigger picture is somebody should be looking at school care as a whole, to have districts being hit with a $4, $5, $6 million increase in insurance because they didn't do their job up there. They sit there and look you right in the face and tell you that, no, we're solving as can be, and then all of a sudden, oh, wait, we don't have money to pay our bills. The bigger picture is the insurance commissioners or somebody should be looking at them, holding
And
their
building
feet to
trust,
the
and building
fire.
trust for the
Yep.
future. I mean, it wasn't
Yep.
even mentioned.
So those are the differences in the default and the proposed. As you know, every year we just gain more actual factual information as we continue to build the budget, and those are the changes tonight.
And you were planning for 20%, they said 8 to 35, I mean. that
Well,
was
and I
notable
thought
to
I
do
was
20,
being
so-
pretty aggressive when I went into Vicki and said, I need you to increase it from 15 to 20. I thought that was gonna more than cover us. I think we probably all were hopeful that we were gonna actually be able to back that down, not have it nearly double. Yeah. That was one of those jaw droppers, like, what? Am I reading? I literally reached out to Vicki while I was gone and said, am I reading this correctly? Like, please tell me that this is wrong. And I needed to see, so you had the wrong rate sheet in front of you because I was like, I need you to pull out all the other ones. I need to see them in front of me, the changes. And, you know, it is absolutely just wild to me that we're gonna go, when you look at the cost per month of the single 2-person and family plans, like it's hard.
And there's likely to be a contract on the warrant.
There will be, yeah.
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you know, at some point, where do the voters stand there and say enough's enough and start all of a sudden going, I mean, I know what my tax increase is gonna be, and it's ridiculous.
So waiting on some more insurance numbers, and we know that. Is there anything else?
I want to, you know, before I'm going to vote either for or against a budget, I want to know what the dollar impact is to the people that are going to be paying the bills. I'm not going to blindly support anything, and I think that we have to look at the fact, I've been a supporter of that OC position in the budget, but when you look at what insurance has done, I'm not sure that I can support that now.
So we're not actually voting on the budget tonight. We're just voting
Okay.
that this is the budget we're going to send to the budget committee
For more
for
conversations.
their conversations. And then we have the budget hearing, get impact from the public, and then we vote on the
And
budget.
prior to that, we have both BEA insurance portion that will be for full board vote and consideration, as well as the warrant for the BPA, which of course both include insurance conversations. So those agreements will then feed what's in the budget and the warrant, and then we go from there.
Is anyone opposed to this going to the budget committee
I
So
just,
for them to start meeting and talking about?
I want them to get together and start meeting about it. We've danced around the conversation a little bit, and so I just wanted to say, at least just for on the record, that I do have some concerns about staff reduction, even regardless of, I really appreciate, and I think it's a great plan that we're offering for retirement, but I do worry a little bit about, even though I know we keep saying things like, oh, there's not that many growth, I do know that there are, like, just for example, there was a young family that just moved in with 3 young children. I mean, that alone can tip the scales because we're keeping things so tight. So I just hope, I'm just cautionary tailing that I'm concerned that we're missing an opportunity to take advantage of a short-term, smaller class size rather than having to go through trying to find staff in the future, that I'm just uncomfortable with that. It is hard to say that, considering the conversation that we just had about finances, but I just, for on my good conscience, I just wanted to state that I just hope that I'm really worried about
I don't
those
think,
decisions.
respectfully, I don't think that we're going to see a population increase in the next 8 or 10 years. I think everything's pointing in the direction that numbers are going down.
Yeah.
People aren't having kids, and you can say what you want, but the people buying $700,000 and $800,000 houses in this town, either their kids are out of school or they're probably going to make the decision that they're not going to have kids, that they're going to be a dual income without kids type family, because the numbers don't work. You know, you pay a mortgage on a $750,000 house, which is, compared to what it was 20 years ago, it's not much of a house. And then you look at daycare costs. At some point, people are going to sit there and say, well, we got to decide, do we want a new house or do we want, and so I don't think the numbers are going to go up. I think you're going to continue to see a decrease in student population over the next 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I wasn't trying to have a philosophical conversation about it. I was just expressing my opportunity to just express that I was concerned about it, that's all. I understand
No,
what you're saying, and
I get it,
Yeah.
but you know, when you look at a 35% insurance increase, and you look at the potential of a paraprofessional contract, and we're trying to put something together for the administrators and stuff, at what point do the taxpayers in town walk in and vote no on everything?
Yeah.
I mean, social media.
Both things
was
can
both-
be true, though, right? Like, I
That's-
can,
yeah,
both things can be true,
absolutely.
so. But that's fine, we're not voting on anything, I just wanted to take an opportunity to express it, thank you.
All right, so what I'm hearing is, we haven't finalized our decisions about the budget,
Yeah.
but we're ready to send it to the ABC for them to have their conversations and come back and
Yes.
give us things to think about.
And thank you for putting in that time to do that.
All right, so we're up to policies.
Everyone's favorite time.
So last time.
Actually, there aren't that many.
No, and so we just had to go back and double check last time to ensure that GBEB staff conduct and GCQ non-renewal and termination dismissal of certified staff were accurate, because they were a pretty significant change from what we had. So those two are back for first read, and then no additional changes were made to the ones that are there for second read.
Oh, yeah, this is an easy one.
This is an easy one.
All right, I make a motion to approve the following policies for first read: GBEB, GCQ, and the following policies for second read: JIH, JIH-R, and KF-R2.
Second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So in the packet that they prepared for me, those policies on here, can we just make sure what gets posted for the public to be able to make sure that they can access those policies?
Oh, sorry, I got those.
Yeah, they're in mine.
They're not in this one. So, it ends with the suicide stuff. So, I know I saw it in my packet that I guess,
Yeah.
okay, I just want to make
The
sure.
one that's posted has it, because mine does.
Okay, that's
have
all,
it
I just
as
want to
well.
make sure that
Yeah, I will
the
double
public
check.
has
when
access to
goes
it.
up.
Okay, so we're up to public comment. Anybody? All right, anybody online? All right, and all speak at once. All right then, moving on. Can I get a motion to enter non-public?
I make,
Oh.
We gotta say-
we have to say it. I make a motion to enter non-public citing reason RSA 91-A semicolon 3, comma 2A.
Second.
Take
Walker,
a-
aye.
We'll take a roll call vote. I'm just gonna start to my
Baker, aye.
Taylor, aye.
Neil, aye.
Walker, aye.
Thank you all. Thank you those of you online.